Online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports, folks, on a beautiful Monday afternoon, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Frank Perez. I am joined in-house with Mr. August Pritzlaff and Florida Rick, my co-host. We're on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, American Forces Network, iHeartRadio, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and at Fifth Street Sports. That's our Twitter handle. Guys, it was a wild and wacky weekend, but I got to tell you, Rick, and I was just talking it over with Augie over here. Boy, this NBA looks real chalky this playoffs, doesn't it?
It sure is, and I think we kind of expected that, with the exception of maybe not Houston and Boston both winning 3-0 and probably going to close. Well, Boston already closed out Indiana on a sweep, and Houston's probably going to close out Utah tonight on the sweep. But yeah, I mean, the only series that really is still in either team can win it is San Antonio and Denver. Everything else is pretty much done.
Augie, now you're a Houston fan. How's Houston taking these Rockets? Do you think that they believe in them?
Oh, the fans believe in them. I'm kind of shocked that they're winning by such large margins in the last week before the playoffs and the playoffs themselves, because they haven't been a good fourth quarter team for years and years while I've been following them. We got August over here. He has spent a lot of time in Costa Rica at the Bet Any Sports, Viet Bet, Five Dimes offices. So we want to give a nice hello to all of our friends out there at Bet Any Sports and Viet Bet. Mr. Pritzlaff is here. You've had a heck of an adventure over there in Costa Rica, huh? Yeah, there's always a time when airline reservations don't work out the way you plan. Spent 55 hours in an airport down there in the capital city. That was a nice experience.
Nice.
The boys will remember.
Nice. Hey, well, Rick, I was talking to Augie, and I think today we should he's got some really good stuff, and I know you do too. We're going to talk in-game betting, strategies, how to do it, what sports we believe have the biggest potential to make money at. It's going to be in-game betting, folks, when we come back after this time out here on Fifth Street Sports.
Hey, it's Flo. And you know what word I've never understood? Top hat. Aren't all hats on top? They're like the toppest part of every outfit. Unless I've been doing it wrong. That's why I stick with simple words like Flotection. It means the sense of security you'll feel when your new home is protected by home insurance through me and Progressive. Also, there shouldn't be a top hat unless there's a bottom hat. Wait, is that what underwear is?
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Taming the briar patch, mowing the lawn, trimming the Yeti. Whatever you call it, it's about time we talked about manscaping. Guys, you manscape, right? You know, keep things trimmed and fresh below the waist. 9 out of 10 women of all ages prefer their guy manscaped. But you got to have the right tools for the jewels, or you'll look like you used a machete. Pop over to manscaped.com and check out their perfect package. No, not that perfect package. I'm talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0 that was a smash hit on Shark Tank. It features the lawnmower, a precision trimmer engineered for below-the-waist grooming. Its skin-safe technology means no more accidental nicks and burns. Check out the lawnmower and the amazing grooming and hygiene products that come with your perfect package. What's that saying? Oh, yeah. Trim the shrubs and the tree stands taller. Get 20% off plus free shipping today. Visit manscaped.com and use promo code USA. Again, use promo code USA at manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples?
A banner year for your company.
Staples wants to help your business achieve big things with 20% back in rewards on your color printing.
Trust the pros at Staples to print whatever your business needs, like color presentations, brochures, and banners.
Prepare yourself for a banner year and banner savings.
With 20% back in rewards on your color printing. Right now at Staples.
Where there's a whole lot in store. And 6/22/19 in-store only. Exclusions apply. See staples.com/20back for details.
All right, folks, we're back. Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. I'm Frank Perez. I have Florida Rick, my co-host, and in-house August Pritzlaff. Don't forget to catch us on American Forces and iHeartRadio. Rick, before we get to the in-game betting, Augie's from Vegas too, but he lives in Houston, but I met him in Vegas. I've known him for about 30 years here. The whole town right now is in absolute mourning over this double overtime shorthanded goal by the Sharks. Augie, what kind of mood were your buddies in today?
They don't even want to talk. They shouted themselves dry. Can't say a word. But the hockey playoffs have been really, really strange this year. The guys probably have mentioned the Tampa Bay Lightning getting swept in the first round. That's the number 1 seed in the East gone. The number 2 seed in the East was playing the 3 seed. The Islanders swept the Pittsburgh Penguins in 4 games. You jump over to the West. Calgary just got knocked off, so the number 1 seed in the West is gone. St. Louis knocked off the number 2 seed in the West. Winnipeg's gone. So the top 4 favorites, the top 4 best teams, are already all gone from the National Hockey League playoffs this year. That's huge.
Rick, doesn't that seem opposite of the NBA?
Completely opposite of the NBA. The NBA, chalk is going to win every matchup, most likely. And NHL looks like the dog or the lower seed is going to win almost every matchup. And the way they're doing it, like Augie said, is crazy. The fact that these teams are all getting swept or in 5 games and the lower seed keeps winning, it's insane. There are a couple great series, though, going on with the Toronto-Boston's headed to a 7th game, as we know. The Vegas-San Jose, when San Jose looked dead a few days ago, that's going to a 7th game. There's a couple of Game 6s tonight with Nashville and Dallas and Washington and Carolina. But overall, it's incredibly entertaining playoffs. Not as easy to predict as the NBA, that's for sure.
So now with the Knights blowing this 3-1 and a double overtime, shorthanded, the whole deal. Now they go to Game 7 in San Jose. Boy, it looks gloomy. But have you ever seen a series? It's like a boxing match that's flipped 3 times. Like the Knights looked terrible in Game 1, so we left them for dead. Then all of a sudden they come back and hammer them 3 games in a row. So now it looks like the Sharks are dead. Now the Sharks come back and win. It's this one. People over here, we're all for Vegas, and they still think that the Knights are going to win it. They're all rooting. I believe, kind of like you, boy, it looks like the Sharks might have them on the ropes, don't you?
Yeah, the fact that Vegas lost that game last night, that was brutal. They almost outshot them 2-1. I think I don't know what the final was, but they were winning, 53-28 in shots, and they could only muster up that 1 goal. And then to lose in double overtime on a shorthanded goal, that's going to take a lot out of them. It's going to be hard to come back from that, but we know they could. I would tend to lean towards San Jose in Game 7, just coming off that Game 6 performance.
You think, Augie, these guys are big enough pros to just shake something like that off and just say, "Come on, boys, let's skate for Game 7 here"?
Well, the old theory was the hot goalie. I can't tell who the hot goalie is in that series. Obviously, the lower seeds goalies were playing fantastic hockey to shut out certain teams in 4-game sweeps. So everybody's going to have to learn a new Canadian name to figure out all the hot goalies now.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, so now let's get back to you guys. I've been really excited to do a show here like that because I got the professional Rick, and then Augie is a recreational slash amateur when it comes to in-game betting. But all right, Augie, tell us about your beginning and your history in in-game betting and how you started doing this, and then we're going to play this off of Rick.
Well, the first time I ever saw it was with 5 Dimes. Bet Any Sports had a real solid website. They had great in-game lines that were constantly updated. A lot of your websites are only going to update you on a commercial break. When I discovered that you could bet after virtually every play, I was hooked really good on football. Football was my first experience with the in-game betting, and then I started chasing down basketball, and of course I was really enamored with third period betting, in-game betting in hockey too. So I have a real good theory on every sport that I'm going to throw at Rick here one by one. The first thing I did in football was I liked to pick a game where I was just absolutely convinced, absolutely certain of the outcome. Chicago Bears are my home team. They would always, invariably, every other year get assigned to play in Detroit on Thanksgiving. So several Thanksgiving games in a row, I just said to myself, well, I know Detroit's going to win the game 35-7. I'll just hammer the in-game live betting, Detroit -5, -6, -9, -10. I remember going all the way up to -20 with Detroit and finally putting the brakes on and grabbing the Bears +21, and the game ended 35-14. So I scooped all the in-game bets on the Lions and pushed on the 21. So
that's how you got hooked.
That was what hooked me. But where I did really well was college and NBA basketball. Anytime a really good home favorite starts out slow, the line eventually will slack off to where you can get the original big favorite at a smaller number. One of the better numbers is somebody that we all know and love trained me to know that 3, 4, and 7 were key numbers in football. And then he admitted that the same key numbers are true in basketball now, with the three-point shot just being automatic all the time. So anytime I could in-game and get the favorite -3 or less, and I could get the underdog at some point during the game +7 or more, I got to admit I tried to middle a lot of games. It's really hard for me to recommend that to anybody because you have to lay extra juice to make an in-game bet, but I hit a lot of middles that way. Frank's the one that learned middles from me. He won't admit us walking back and forth across the street between the Golden Nugget and the Horseshoe. Yeah. Remember that? When I showed him you could literally walk across Fremont Street and get plus on both sides of the same hockey game.
This was Rick. He's talking about in the 80s. In the 80s, before there was a line service or the internet. Augie would say to me, Frank, downtown, you have the Horseshoe here, the Golden Nugget across the street. He goes, we could go back and forth to all these places downtown, and they were all independent books, and just get plus on both sides of the games, 3-point middles. It was ridiculous.
That was our original exposure to
yeah, but
getting the plus price.
But those days are over. So now we need to create other earning streams. So what do you think about his trying for middles, that kind of scenario he just put out there?
Oh, I love it. I mean, we were doing that for years, and it was very good. I mean, sometimes you get stuck on a side that doesn't. They once you get on them, they go down the toilet, and pretty much you lost your play. But there's lots of times where you're on the right side, and you just either keep your play, or say you take in-game Lakers -4 playing Houston, and then you come back, they go on like a 10-2 run, you get Houston plus 9.5. You set yourself up for a big middle. Or if like I said, if you just feel like at this point it's a winning play, you just keep your play. But yeah, I'm with Augie there, and I have different theories in sports too that I kind of try to apply to live betting as well. I do like his theory when you like a team to completely dismantle the other team, take them pre-game, take them more in-game, and you can just kind of keep hitting them at all the different lines until there's a certain point where you figure they're just going to kind of put the brakes on, maybe run clock, and then at that point either come back or just stop playing your team.
I was going to say, but we only got about 30 seconds of this. But Rick, do you see that there's certain teams that you just don't get the respect you're supposed to? Let's say, for instance, you decide to step out against Golden State, and the line was 10.5, and you get off to a 16-5 lead. And then you say, oh, my gosh, I can get Golden State -3.5. And you look back, and Golden State is still -8.5, 9.5. You just never get a respect for getting a lead. But when we come back, we're going to touch on that in other sports. We think we can develop an edge on in-game wagering. Fifth Street Sports back after this.
Attention business owners, now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for their business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. That's 800-957-6063.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about Elite Rehab Placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
All right, folks, we're back. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA Radio Network, iHeartRadio, American Forces. August Pritzlaff in the house with my co-host, Florida Rick. I'm Frank Perez, and we were talking about in-game betting. Now, Augie got this idea because he was watching our show over here, Rick, when we had Jim Feist on, and Jim was giving us his angles, how he does most of his wagering now is all in-game. Rick, what is, before we let Augie go on to his next sport, what is one of your more or less techniques or features that you do on the in-game?
Well, something that I really like to do is in basketball, specifically college, is when once you get to the team fouls, you start shooting one-on-ones at the 7th team foul, and then you're in the double bonus at the 10th team foul. A lot of times, when they do college basketball live betting, they don't account for team fouls. So if a team gets into the bonus really early in the half, say like the 5-minute mark, they're already in the bonus, or both teams are in the bonus by like the 6-7 minute mark. You can just almost steal from them by betting over, whether it be first half or game, because they don't take into account the team fouls, and that's something that we've made a lot over the years doing. The problem is there's not that many books that do a ton of college basketball in-game betting. It's really good for the conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament, but those situations don't come that often. But when they do, you just kind of keep hitting it, and the win percentage is crazy. So that's something we kind of keep an eye out for in college basketball. NBA is not necessarily the same, because NBA, they could get into the bonus early, and the 15th foul in each quarter, they're in the bonus. And sometimes you'll see it 2-3 minutes in, a team's already in the bonus. But the difference is NBA refs tend to even themselves out. They'll call equal fouls on the other team, and they'll stop calling fouls on this team. So you kind of want to stay away from that. The NBA, but college, I think that's one of our biggest profitable things we've had so far over the years.
Which is the real reason why you get those big back and forth runs where, 7-0 runs, 9-0 runs, where you can grab a team -2 and you can grab the other team +10. I mean, it happens an awful lot, especially like Frank's example about the Golden State Warriors starting out super slow, super sluggish, being behind by 10 or 11 points to start the game, and you still are going to get the other side +8.5 or +9.
Yeah, it's like you get they give them like too much respect, almost like if they're expecting them to no problem, they're going to come back. We're not going to give you what you're supposed to have for the game situation. Do you feel like there's a few overrated teams like that, Rick?
Oh, definitely. In all sports, you'll see teams like Golden State in the NBA or Alabama in college football, maybe the Patriots in the NFL or the Chiefs or Saints, but these teams, the lines are always going to be shaded in their favor. So like you said, if Golden State's 10.5-point favorite early on, the 6-minute timeout, the game's 16-6, say they're playing Sacramento, you're thinking, wow, I'm going to get Golden State here. It's a good, nice little price, like -4.5, -3.5. Nope, the line's going to be like -7.5. They're going to say, no, we're not letting you get Golden State cheap. If you want Golden State that bad, you're still going to play the 7.5. The thing is, more people are still taking Golden State because they're like, we know they're going to come back. We know they're going to get back. So there's actually a lot of value betting against these top-tier teams in live betting if you pick your spots correctly.
Exactly. Baseball, not so much. You still even sometimes, you'll take a stand with Baltimore against the Yankees, and Baltimore's +200 to start with, and now they get off to a 3-0 lead in the second inning. So you're thinking, I'm gonna get the Yankees +170. You look at the Yankees down 3-0, still -130. Down 3-0.
Yeah,
and still -1.5.
Yeah, it's scary. But that's where I think in baseball, like a 3-0 lead with Baltimore over the Yankees, Baltimore can tend to hold on a lot more than Sacramento being up 9 or 12 against Golden State.
Yeah, it's probably true. But Baltimore does have a pretty bad bullpen, so they do blow leads all the time. But yeah, I would take my chances with Baltimore up 3-0 than Sacramento up 10 early on.
Yeah.
Another thing about middling the game is just a suggestion. If you bet something live in game in the first half at a high price where you lay a lot of juice, sometimes your best middle number or your best layoff number, hedge if you prefer to hedge, like I do sometimes, is to bet the halftime line where the juice is a lot lower. instead of laying $1.15 and $1.15 on both sides of your proposition in the middle of the game, you can lay minus $1.15, and then at halftime you might get a great number at minus 105. Spend a little less money too. Something else you can look for if you're doing in-game on the basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It applies to football as well. If you can get yourself to halftime, and you're going to get much better juice on the back end using the halftime line rather than the live in-game line.
We'll talk about changing numbers slow. The lines on football in-game don't change very fast, but totals change real rapidly in-game. It's surprising. Now, it's probably because a touchdown is 6 points. There's a great news flash for everybody. But those total numbers, after 5 or 6 minutes without a score, the numbers adjusted 5 or 6 points. So that's where I find myself getting in trouble a lot of the times. I said, well, it was 37 for the game, and now it's 31. Well, I'm going to grab over 31. That should be easy. But those 6-point scores are hard to come by in tough conditions or tough defenses playing each other.
Rick, you know where I seen some of the value is in the baseball. You know, you'll get a game like, let's say, for instance, Texas and Oakland, and you'll see like Texas up 2-1 going to the bottom of the third. Oakland's due to come up at bat, and you'll see Oakland with a really nice price sometimes, like plus 220, plus 215, only down 2-1, and then you'll notice that Oakland has the heart of the order coming up. When you're doing baseball, you got to keep track of who's up in the next inning for a great value. Wouldn't you believe that's a great strategy?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You don't want to get stuck, with the 7, 8, 9, especially nationally with the pitchers coming up, and you're taking a pretty, like a pretty high price. You always want to keep track on who's coming up, for both teams. And yeah, baseball's got a lot of intricacies in live betting. One of the things that I love the most in baseball is when you're taking a mediocre team against like one of the top teams. So let's just use, for example, the White Sox are playing the Red Sox. The Red Sox came in as a minus like 220 favorite. So the White Sox are now up 5-0 in like the 6th inning, and live betting always assumes that the better team's going to come back. So they're making the Red Sox like maybe plus 4.5, minus 170, plus 4, minus 110, maybe plus 3.5, like plus 125. I like taking the teams who are already up for multiple reasons. First of all, they have to score like 2 runs for you, or outscore you by 2 runs for you to lose. But the main thing is at that point, you're going to be using the team who's up is going to be using their starter who's doing well or their good relievers. While the other team, the Red Sox in this instance, will be using all those like throwaway relievers, the guys they just have to eat up innings. So at that point, the White Sox are more likely to score off the Red Sox relievers, with a 6, 7, 8 ERAs than the Red Sox are against the White Sox starter or top relievers who are, who have like those 2 or 3.0 ERAs. That's one of my favorite things to do with baseball. Live betting.
See, Rick, exactly what you said, Augie. That's counterintuitive to a lot of the things that recreational or amateur players do. Right now, the 2 last things that he said are so professional, because you're absolutely right, Rick. That's the in-depth of, you can tell, like, professional in-game betting, because everybody thinks, oh, the Red Sox down 5-0, they were the better team, opened up 220, they're gonna squeeze it back, let me take this plus 3.5, plus 130, and you're right, it's the 6th inning. White Sox still got the starters. Red Sox are going to be using not their top relievers, top pitching. But it's counterintuitive. That's why it wins, And if you notice, the value is not on the Red Sox having to come back and make it a better game just because they're the better team. Like, they're out of sync. They're down 5-0.
That's one of the things that I was talking to Brian about before the show started, because he couldn't join us for the show today. And I said to him, well, what's your theory on baseball? And he said, I like the zigzag theory. I said, zigzag? He said, yeah, I like to go the way that the bookmakers haven't accounted for. I like to go the way the public probably hasn't accounted for, better value. Now, we didn't have time to get into a specific, but one of the specifics I've noticed, I'm a sucker for a bet where I can make the bet at the point where I'm actually winning the bet. Your example, Red Sox over the White Sox. Red Sox up 2-0. You go in game, and you can still get the White Sox plus 2.5 runs. It's real hard for me not to put money on a bet that at the time I'm making the bet, I'm actually winning the bet by looking at the end game. So that's one of the ones that makes it hard on me, where teams continue the blowout. But I'm always a fan of putting money down when you're already winning the wager when you make it. Same in basketball. Sometimes, like you said, sometimes the number's still ridiculous. You can get the team, the dog, plus 13.5, and they're only down by 7 or 8. It's real hard for me not to want to grab a team with a wager that's winning at the time I'm putting the money in. I've got to try and train myself to watch out for those traps, because those are big traps when you fall into them. Another thing on the baseball, you were talking about who's winning and losing the game. One of the things I like to watch on baseball is totals, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of homework. You have to watch the previous day's game or the previous 2 games in a series and see how much of the bullpen's been used up. If the Red Sox have used their 3 best relievers, obviously in the next game they're going to have to use the 4 worst pitchers in their bullpen. You might get a great over and under bet on that in game too. If it's been a low-scoring starter, the starters start out by pitching low totals, but you know that the Red Sox bullpen has been used up and you're going to get the other part of the bullpen, you might want to bet the over there.
Hold that thought. We got it. We got to take a break. Folks, when we come back, talk you can bet on. August Pritzlaff, Florida Rick, and myself, Frank Perez, back after this timeout.
Lumber Liquidators Flooring Company has you covered with the hottest styles for any room. Get 15 to 25% off our best-selling floors, like Rose Canyon Pine Waterproof Vinyl and Wide Plank Willow Manor Oak Hardwood. Get started today with special financing, and we can arrange the installation for you. See the flooring experts at your local Lumber Liquidators today. Lumber Liquidators, beautiful floors for less.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
If you're a pro, you don't buy a little of this or that. You buy a lot of this or that. And at the Home Depot, you save even more. Save up to 15% in bulk discounts on select pro-grade products from top brands like 3M, Loctite, and Liquid Nails. As a pro, you work hard for your money. You shouldn't have to work hard to save it. Up to 15% in bulk discounts on select pro-grade products. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. See store for details.
All right, folks, we're back. Talk you can bet on 5th Street Sports. August Pritzlaff in the house with Florida Rick and myself, Frank Perez. Rick, we're going to come up with some strategies here. You know, we can go into such depth with this in-game betting. One of the things, though, I got to tell you, in my career of in-game betting, probably the two sites that I find, Rick, I think the best site is the that offshore book in Costa Rica, Bet Any Sports, which is, you know, a sister of Five Dimes and VietBet. Great reduced juice, great in-game betting. Also Pinnacle. But now there's a lot of books that are starting to catch up with them, even though I still believe those are the two top ones. August learned how to bet, you know, from the VietBet site. That's how he learned. What do you have any you can, before we get to our picks, do you have any that you like for fairness and, you know, different kind of lines?
Oh, well, those two you said are as good as you're going to get. And then the other one in that same group is Bet Chris. They have in-game betting on all sports. They have a million soccer games. You look on weekends and there's just endless soccer games around the world. But, you know, then they have basketball games aside from the NBA. They have all over Europe and Australia. It's crazy. But yeah, they have every single game Chris offers as well. So yeah, those three are the pinnacle of you know, in-game betting that I know of. Maybe there's a couple others that I'm not aware of, but yeah,
Rick,
those are
going
the best
back to
my
the
knowledge.
baseball, do you remember when you used to be able to bet? Obviously, you still can first 5 innings, but you used to be able to bet the second half of a baseball game before it started. The last 4.5 innings, they had a separate price and a separate total. Does anybody still do that anymore?
You know, I'm going to look right now. I'm not sure if Chris still offers that or not.
The reason I brought it up was
at
because
Bet
go ahead.
Chris. Yeah, it looks like Bet Chris still offers that, where you can you can bet the side totals for just the second half of the game.
Well, the reason I brought it up is what I was starting to spout out about just before the break was if you pay attention to the previous game or two and see how the bullpens were used, you might get a couple of spots where you know that the best 3 relievers for the Red Sox have pitched too many innings in the previous game or two, and the manager's just flat out not going to use them in the 3rd game of a series or the 4th game of the series. And those are spots where I used to bet second half, you know, totals over 2.5, over 3.5, good numbers like that, because I already knew that the bullpens were used up and they were going to have to use the bottom 3 relievers and an outfielder in the 9th inning if the game was out of hand. So that was another one of the reasons why checking the relief pitcher situation is just as important as betting the starting pitcher information.
But, you know, hey, but by the way, while you guys were talking, I got a little update on the Bet Chris live betting. It's not a dime line in baseball though, Rick. Even regular on Bet Chris. Yeah, it's so you're not going to get as good a deal as you are like at Bet Any Sports or Pinnacle on the baseball.
Yeah, they're a little bit higher juice. You're right. It's a little bit higher. That's correct. Yeah, but I mean they offer everything, and they have, you know, sometimes they have opinionated lines as well. So it's, you know, it's a great place to do it. But you're right. Their lines aren't 10 cents, or they use a 20-cent line.
You know,
for baseball.
Hey, babe, you know, before we get into the picks, Rick, tomorrow we're going to have August. We're going to have Joey Casano on with us too. So we ought to be able to get a good show. He's going to give us his updates, what he's going to be doing for college basketball, all, you know, with his new website and all those things. But now, you know, we got to get into the part where we give the folks some things that we can make some money on today, because it's a Talk You Can Bet On segment. I'll let you go first, Rick. I have 4 baseball games, and I hope I match you.
Oh, well, I have a couple of baseball games and a basketball game. I'll start in the NBA. I kind of like both games, but I one I like more than the other. So the first one, I'm not putting this as an official play, but I would certainly lean this way, is Game 574 Detroit getting 13 at home now from Milwaukee. It's a closeout situation. Milwaukee's going to win the series. Most likely it's going to be 4-0. But, man, that line just jumped from 8.5 to 13.5 because they won Game 3. And I know Milwaukee's a much better team. Milwaukee's probably going to win tonight. But to be the same line they were at home is just, I think, a little bit too much here. And the public is – look at this. The public's 80% on Milwaukee, like it's free money. So I would definitely lean towards Detroit here. But that being said, I'm not playing it because I still don't want to have my money on Detroit, but I think that's where the value is. The other one, which I kind of like, but these numbers scare me a little bit, is Houston. I mean, look at what Harden did the other night. Harden maybe had one of the top 2 or 3 worst games of his career. He didn't even make a field goal until there was, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He was over 15 before that. Houston played as bad as a game they could almost possibly play, and yet they still come out of Utah with a win. So now, talking about being the ultimate deflation, Utah here. How do they even think they can come out and win this game? The line has moved from Utah was -2 in Utah the last game, and now Houston's they opened -2, they're up to -3. Public is on them also around 82% clip. Unfortunately, I'm kind of with the public here. I think Utah has had everything. They've given everything they can. They just have nothing left, and I think this game is going to kind of be a Houston blowout win. I look for a 10, 12-point win here for Houston, so I'm giving out Houston -3. That's an official play. It matches the public, but as we've said before, we're not always against the public. Sometimes, we're with the public. This is one of these instances. And then getting into baseball, I like game 958. It's Colorado as a -116 favorite over Washington. Seems like a low line. Actually opened at 133. It's been all the way bet down to 116. I think it's just got to the point where it's a little too low now. I'll take Colorado at home -116. And then the other one I like is game 961, Kansas City getting +155 at Tampa. This line actually opened 180. It's been bet down a little bit, but I still like KC here. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, close game, and I'll take my chances with $1.55. So those are my 2 plays in baseball, as well as basketball.
Wow, Rick, you mentioned Kansas City. That was one of my plays. I got 2 sharp plays from a source that we have that's extra sharp in baseball.
Before we get to those plays, we actually got a message in through our Fifth Street social media live streams. Excuse me. As always, we stream through YouTube, youtube.com/Fifth Street Sports, and then Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. And today we got a couple messages in from Daniel Wages. These ones are pretty interesting, guys. The first one here, he says, the best in-game live bets we've ever had was college basketball 2 years ago. Northwestern, I'm assuming that was Northwestern, was around 18 points up over Michigan, and Casano hits me and says, bet the money line, Michigan. Then at +800. When I got to it, the line was +600. Made a nice chunk, even though our limits were only to win $5,000.
Nice catch, Daniel. Nice catch. I was going to tell you, Rick. So the play that you gave out with Kansas City, we have a sharp account that we monitor and watch and spy on overseas, and he comes in on Kansas City. So that's a double check. You like it. I always bet this guy's stuff. Other game that he likes really good is the Angels. Likes the Angels at home over the Yankees, -$1.05 roughly. And then I'm going to give you one on another couple of accounts that I've seen, and that would be the Milwaukee Brewers plus $1.40 Hauser over Flattery for the Cardinals. And it's choppy. I was going to endorse these Nationals with Hellickson over Anderson, but you like Colorado. I'm going to pass on that. We'll stick with your Colorado. Now, Augie, you're a bit of a would you say that you're a bit of a Houston homer when it comes to baseball?
Yeah, except for the fact that this year is the first year where the pitching matchups in April, as Brian and Rick pointed out at the start of the season, it was crazy. All the best pitchers were -300 already. That's what you see in August and September when the teams aren't playing good. I wonder, how good did you guys clean up on Baltimore over the Yankees in the first series?
We did great. Yeah. My Costa Rica source gave out Baltimore every day at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, the price was so out of whack.
The guy was up 28,200 after the first week and a half with certain bets.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Which is historically inaccurate because usually the pitchers have the advantage over the hitters in April and into May. One of the things I noticed about yesterday was I said, how in the world did they put up the baseball grand salami yesterday? Do you know what it was? It was 134.5 runs. Only 6 games went over the number. The other 12 games or 9 games or whatever it is all went under the number. and the number crashed way below 134.5. So even a crazy bet like that, if you look at it early in the season, might be a good play. I know you don't give out prop plays like that, but
no, we
but
give
I
out
did
anything.
I noticed that.
Anything we can make money on, Augie, we'll give it out. You got something in badminton and rowing, snooker, whatever you got, we give it out here to make money. So, Rick, so far we have your Houston in the NBA. We both like Kansas City, including our sharp guy in Costa Rica. The Angels from Costa Rica, Brewers plus $1.40, and you got your Colorado also, right? Rockies.
I like Colorado, but yeah, I've seen sharp accounts against it. I think Colorado at home against Hellickson, this cheap a price, I'm going to bite this lower number. I would have liked it at 130, 133, but the fact it's gone down to almost a pick 'em, I'm going to take 'em.
Hey, now, you know, so now we've given out the talk you can bet on. Now to have a little bit of fun here, especially with Augie, because he is a veteran of the Central America travel group. I don't understand that, you know, he's been all over Central America with a lot of our friends, and he, for some reason, he favors a city called Managua in Nicaragua. He favors that over Costa Rica. Now, I know that the favorite thing that he likes to do in Managua is karaoke. So if you can imagine Augie doing karaoke in Managua, he says it's the best karaoke probably in the Milky Way, right?
Yep, can't beat it. The reason I liked it best is the bookmaker in Managua that I was introduced to was from Chicago, where I'm from. So he was a cool dude. Yeah, so I thought it was interesting that a guy from Chicago made it down to the steamy heat in the jungle of Managua, Nicaragua.
But now let's get down to it. What is the difference between Managua, like karaoke in Managua, and karaoke, like let's say here in Houston, in Houston or Las Vegas? Why is karaoke so interesting in Managua?
Because the singers are so much younger; they have a lot of room to develop.
Wow. Well, I mean, so there you go. You know, it's karaoke in Managua. Nothing like it, but he's a big fan of it. So anyways, Rick, so now tonight, nothing on the ice for you?
No, I'm going to stay away from hockey tonight. There's 2 game 6s, like I mentioned earlier. Washington's trying to close out Carolina, and Dallas trying to close out Nashville. I don't really have an opinion on either of these. Not that if I did, they're really better because I'm really not a hockey guy. But I'd like to see both games both series go to a game 7, and it'd be nice to see. There's 2 game 7s tomorrow night. The 2 most interesting series, in my opinion: Toronto, Boston, and Vegas, San Jose. And then if both these teams could win tonight, we can get 2 game 7s on Wednesday.
Are the Capitals a bigger price than -200?
Capitals tonight are a dog. They're a small dog tonight. They're on the road.
Oh, they're on the road. Okay.
Yeah, they're about plus 108, plus 110 tonight. Yeah, they haven't been a big favorite this series. Even at home, they've only been 140, 145. So, yeah, I kind of expect Carolina to win tonight.
They were the first they were the first Cup champion not to lose, you know, their 3 best people because of salary cap restrictions. They brought back pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Well,
they're a great team.
Geez, hey, folks, when we come back after this break, we're going to recap all of the selections from Rick. Augie, I don't know if he's going to give us anything. I'll give you the ones I have that are some of my plays and from some sharp accounts. We'll be right back after this break.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. Florida Rick, August Pritzlaff, Frank Perez. We're going to recap really quickly from Rick. Lean, but not an official bet on taking Detroit plus the 13. We like Houston -3. Little careful. It's public play. Rick, we both like Kansas City baseball. I like the Angels. You like the Rockies. I'm going to go with Milwaukee. Augie, do you have anything to throw out here for the fellas?
Yeah, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to tell you guys how to watch tonight's hockey games and do a little in-game betting on it. If the games tonight, which are elimination games for the home teams, are very, very low scoring in the first period, you're going to get a great number at the end of the first intermission to bet over. And then if there's no more scoring or not a lot of scoring in the second period, strangely enough, I'm going to tell you to bet the under for the third period, because what I've seen in these games is you'll get over 4.5 in game at the end of the first intermission, and then you'll get under something like 5.5 on the third intermission. And it's not that I'm trying to middle the game; it's the fact that the actual gameplay is a lot more desperate in the third quarter in these game sixes for the home teams.
So, Rick, when you bet over in the, let's say the game's going to the third period and you bet over 5.5, over, let's say 4.5. If it goes 2-2, does the overtime count on that?
Oh, yeah. Overtime counts.
It does, right?
Yeah.
I have not bet in-game hockey in so long. But, Rick, tomorrow we got a great show, buddy. We got you, Joey Casano, August. I mean, unless you're playing poker, you seem to be out. What are your poker tournament days?
No, that was just a couple tournaments in the last couple of weeks because I had a series going on at Hard Rock. And no more poker for me in the near future.
Well, we hope to see you for the World Series of Poker if you can come out here. That'd be kind of fun.
I hope so.
Shout out to Daniel. Got your message, buddy. Thank you.
Daniel, thank you for writing in, buddy. And, folks, we appreciate you and we thank you. Rick, great show. Fifth Street Sports. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Have a great and safe and lucky day.